game takes place over 2 phases. You've got a day phase, and then you've got a night phase. So during the day phase, everybody's going to be moving around, positioning themselves around the board for what you really want to accomplish for the round. So, as you can see, we have these 5 movement cards right here. And how it's going to work is, let's say we're playing in a 4-player game, and I'm first player. I'm going to choose one of those movement cards, and I'm going to lift it up here. So I say by Griffin, which is diagonal. Whenever you move by map tile itself. So these are all different locations, but you're going to move by map tile themselves. I can move as many spaces diagonally as I want. So I'm going to take this guy, and I'm going to go, okay, I'm going to go diagonal and diagonal. I'm going to end up here, and I want to try and learn that spell. So I'm going to go into this spot. Whenever you go into a map card, you choose one of the 2 spots on it to go to. Okay? At that point, we're going to go around the table, and everybody has the opportunity to move by Griffin. You don't have to. If you don't want to move by Griffin, you can just stay idle. Once everyone's done that, we're going to flip that over, and you will choose the next movement card. Okay? So you can kind of customize it to where you want to go and how you want to set up your beat.
Okay.
Placement in this game is very important. There are 4 ways that you're going to gain victory points. And it's all kind of on a sliding scale right here. And it kind of gives that to you. Your spell rank, the quests that you complete, and killing those nasty, dirty, scoundrel-like goblins. Because they're mean. Nobody likes goblins. So after everyone has gone through a move, then we get into the really exciting meat of the game. If everyone wants to take a look at those beautiful dice, custom marble look dice with very vivid colors. Everyone likes those. They're beautiful. We are going to be going to the push your luck aspect. So I'm going to roll the dice. Let's say that was my roll. And if you'll notice, the beautiful box cover on the front, inside of the lid, we make use of every piece of every component in this game. There is nothing that does not serve a purpose. And it's because we're fitting this big of a game into this small of a box. So this tells you in what order you resolve the dice in. So first we're going to take damage. Now this is a push your luck game. In this instance I rolled 1 damage, so I would take 1 damage. That's not great. But let's say for instance I had rolled 2 damage. I am not going to be taking 2 damage. I am too good for that. I will take 1. So you will take the next one. We're just going to go ahead and pass that die down so you can take that damage. Now, had I rolled a 3rd, you get to join the party, and there's a damage for you. So we get to split up that damage. Now, also, this is a very beneficial symbol. That is energy. Okay? That's a good resource to have. If I roll multiple of those, I only get the first one. You get the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
And you only get to roll 1 time on your turn.
Exactly. So the whole point of the push your luck is there's no mitigation of die rolls. You are taking the chance. You are going out there and like, oh God, I really hope nothing bad happens. But the good thing is that even as you're going on other people's turns, the good things can benefit everybody. So different things you can do to complete quests. You can go to temples, and there are 2 different types of temples. There's temples with fire symbols, and there are temples with kind of these maps or these scroll symbols. So those are symbolized by those, and everyone talks about like in a fight goblins, that is the symbol for fighting goblins. These symbols, after we resolve those 2, can be used by everybody. We do have this. So if I roll 1 damage to a goblin, everybody at the table gets to do 1 damage to the goblin they're fighting. In addition, these symbols to move up on map quests, so let's say yellow is over here, we roll that, they would get to move onto the first tile of the map on that temple. Let's say 2 of them in rolled. Oh goodness. They get to then move on to there. Okay, so you get the benefit of other people's die rolls, which is nice because it also keeps you engaged on other people's turns. You're always looking, you're always saying, okay, what's going to happen? What can I do? Because when it gets to your turn, you have to choose, am I going to adventure on or am I going to rest? So, when you choose to rest, you get to save your progress. If you've completed stuff, you get to take your meeples back to your castle. You'll generally either get to heal 1 or gain an energy for every meeple you get to bring back to your castle that's completed things. If you continue on and you end up dying, that's not great, but it doesn't end the game for you. So you can easily die, but still win the game. It just hampers you a little bit. So we have your spell rank, and everyone's going to be keeping track of their spell rank on this track here. And so when you die, let's say I was spell rank 5 and I was green, if I died, I would go down and I would drop to spell rank 4. Now, like I told you, spell rank is one of the things that earns you victory points, so it does hamper you a little bit. You don't really want to do that, especially because let's say I had this guy on the second to last part of the temple and I die. He leaves. He goes back home. He's very afraid. So you want to make sure that you're pushing your luck just enough to get the stuff done that you want, but not far enough that you're going to die. So after everybody rests or everybody has passed away or gotten too afraid and run back home to their castles, then you go on to the next round, you do another day phase. And you play that over 5 rounds. It goes pretty quick. So the day phase, you're thinking about where you want to go, but usually it takes a minute or so for you to figure out, okay, I want to be here for the spell, I want to kill this goblin, and I want to go to this temple. You usually have a clear idea of what you want to do, and then the movement is just making sure that you can facilitate that movement, and then the meat of the game is there in that push your luck, and it's really gripping and exciting as you're going through. So, plus you can see the vibrant art on this game is awesome. Plus, I didn't even mention the coolest part. If you'll notice, my red meeple here has a bomb and a sword. So as you're going through and you're completing temples and completing quests, the meeples that complete them actually get the items that differentiate them from the other meeples. So I have this legendary sword and a bomb, so this guy's going to be really good at killing goblins, and then whatever the bomb does, I've forgotten. There's a lot of different unique items. But you get to actually customize your meeple. So a lot of people have compared it to a little bit of an RPG style because you are actually upgrading your party and letting your party go through and complete the quests that you want to complete. So there's a lot of stuff going on. And the very last thing that I would tell you about, probably gone longer in this demo than any of you care to know, but there are quests. I told you that one of the things that you gain victory points for are quests. There are 2 different types of quests. There are temple quests, which will give you legendary items, so those things you can put on your meeples. And then there are essentially like placement quests, so having your figures in a certain configuration on the map. Now, there are only ever 3 on the map at one time, and whoever completes it first gets it. Okay? So if you have 2 people at the desert temple trying to get the cane, only the first person to get to that point will be able to achieve that quest and gain the cane. And quests are immediately replaced as they're completed, so you'll always have 3 quests out.